Hello and welcome back. Ready for this? Blew my mind. Because I read this right after I made yesterday's video. You don't need more motivation. You need to let yourself fall apart so you can release the patterns trying to do life from fear, force, and will. Motivation is a byproduct of inner alignment. Pushing yourself harder often feels safer than admitting that something is off. So we double down on the very patterns that made us feel off in the first place. I totally did that. It takes courage to let go. First you feel lost, then you feel angry. Then you must grieve, then comes surrender. Gradually you remember who you were when you weren't trying to hold it all together. This is the cycle of letting go and rebuilding from wholeness. You could go years being committed while never feeling connected. And that's why I don't remember a lot of the last handful of months. Because I did that. And it put myself in a weird disassociated state. Didn't even realize it. Wasn't even fully present. I'm there, but I'm not. This has always been an issue for me. Yet it was way more obvious in the beginning. It just is, these patterns and the things that you're doing and the ways that you're staying committed and not connected, that was very easy to spot in the beginning. Disassociation was heavily on the rise. I often was visually disconnected, right? It was obvious that I was not tethered here. I was living a world up in here. And I remember that when I first met my now boyfriend, partner, he called me out on it and I didn't even recognize it. I got up, it was the first time he had stayed with me over a weekend because we were a long distance couple. And I had gotten up and I just started my routine, man. Because it's what an independent survivalist woman does. Why? Just because you're here, why does that mean anything's going to be different, right? That's trauma! We'll get to that. So what I did was I got up, brushed my teeth, I grabbed my pack of cigarettes, grabbed my coffee, grabbed my drum, and I started heading outside. Because that was my routine. I smoked a cigarette or two, had a coffee, had a latte, and I played on my tongue drum until I felt all was right in the world. And I was kind of flabbergasted because I was like, you can come, you can still be a part of it, but that wasn't what he was sensing. He's a very energy sensing kind of person, and I didn't know that about him really. So I was confused. I was like, I invited you. What's the big deal? The big deal is I'm not present. I'm staying committed to a routine and staying committed to a structure because it helps. What does it do? Yeah, you're putting off. You're putting off. Pushing yourself harder often feels safer than admitting that something is off. So we double down on the very patterns that made us feel off in the first place. Right. So you're putting off getting to know what's truly going on the inside of you. And you commit to these external things. You commit to these routines, these structures, these self-made rules per se. And they then become the identity of who you are. And if these little unseen rules get changed, you don't know how to exist well. So after that moment and that recognition of when he called me out on that, I started recognizing the detachment I truly had. I didn't feel him. I didn't feel anything I felt something for him, obviously, but I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't in that connection. And I did that. I recognized that I was doing that with basically everybody in my life. Also, coming from past trauma, it's hard to let people in so that you can trust them. Also, though, I've been surviving on my own since I was 18, right? Just like surviving. Survival shit. Like, not even paycheck to paycheck, man. Like, deficit to deficit. Like, it was not, like, good. Getting your electric turned off all the time, coming home in the dark, hot water heaters never working, shitty landlords, shitty roommates, getting robbed, like, you name it, I probably experienced it. So, yeah, it's incredibly hard for me to just let go. These structures, these routines, these things I've put in place have kept me at a functioning level of a human being. And that was the only goal I needed at the time, to just function. And I've been functioning now since that recognition. And I swapped out the unhealthy things for healthy things, but then those healthy things also then became an addiction. An addiction is anything that really takes you away from your reality, bro. Disconnects you. And I'm struggling with that now. Like, I want to work out every day, but like, that's also becoming a weird like rule in my head that's causing and creating anxiety and taking away the slowness of my mornings. And you know, it's throwing me. It's hard. Not the workout itself. It's just fitting it in, getting that going. I got to make sure I shower afterwards because I'm super sweaty. Like, you know, I got to wash my glasses because they're sweaty. Like, it's just like this whole extra like thing. And I mentioned it yesterday how my brain is attaching that whole circumstance to the word punishment. And I feel like I'm abusing myself. You know, like, and I'm releasing the dopamine, the endorphins, and it's kicking me into this masculine mode of doing, and then I'm accomplishing shit all day, right? Shit that you don't even remember that you accomplished. It just, like, keeps the world spinning, in a way. And I'm exhausted and I'm crying. Because, like, I'm pretty sure I'm not just a tool. Right? Like, I know these things. But then I get, like, it just happens. Like, I'll have the awareness that I have right now, and I'll be really conscientious about balancing that masculine and feminine energy. But then all of a sudden, time will go by, and something changes, right? In my environment or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, I'm in, like, military mode. And then when I do have time to relax or just be, I'm disassociating because I'm like, is this really my effing life? And you know what? And I'm gaslighting myself about that because my life is beautiful. I will not lie. I love what my life looks like right now. If you compared it to the hellfires I've been in, this is heaven. So I'm trying to now learn this. There's a new thing here. I believe that we initiate synthetic survival mode. That's what I'm calling it right now. The overtasking, the overdoing, the overburdening of responsibility. Like, I've got to do this, or I gotta do that. And then I don't even like fucking remember what it is that I gotta do. And like, it's this doing that lifestyle, living like that, you're keeping your nervous system in a state of action, of, I'm not going to say fight or flight. That's not the issue here. We can talk about that another day. I get that too. But like, it's keeping it in a state of unpeace or dis-ease because I'm like earning things. I don't need to earn them. Like, just, right? And it's all these past beliefs that if you do a certain amount of things, or if you, like, get all this stuff done whatever way, that makes sure that no one can ever be mean to you again. No one can ever hurt you again. Okay, we're unpacking this together. Because that's what I've been ruminating about a lot lately. Because that's really what it is. I'm not doing it for myself. I mean, like the little thing, yeah. But there's times where I overachieve because then everyone else will be okay and they won't have a moment where they react to something I say with something harmful. Because that's people, right? Not everybody's doing this whole emotional intelligence thing. Not everybody really needs to. I mean, yes, you do. But I'm saying, like, it's not. People can go throughout their lives and whatever. But that's what's getting me. Is it doesn't matter how hard I bust my ass to be effectively communicating, to have all these things accomplished so no one else has to feel the burden or weight, so that they have a stress-free life and then their stress doesn't impede on me. Like, and guess the F what? People still project. Why? Because that's life. It's freaking life. But I need to stop, like this post said, doing actions based off of fear. I didn't recognize I was doing it off of fear. But I was. And then when I still received the adverse reaction that I thought I created an invincibility cloak about, I felt betrayed. I felt like this lie, I thought if I did all the things, and I had to dismantle a huge part of who I am. Well, who I thought I was. Because I was doing this out of fear of the response of others. If I can make everyone who's close to me, if I can make everyone who's close to me's lives easier, then when I'm going through a hard time mentally, they'll have more patience. They'll have more love. They'll have more support. They'll have more encouragement. Because I think that's the underlying driving force. Instead of talking about how sensitive I am, instead of expressing the roots of pain that these things are coming from, I'm just like, just put Band-Aids on everything. Just bandage it all up. And it's all good. Because then you don't have to talk about your past. And you've created a protection bubble. It's not true. And it's still going to happen. People get stressed. And how the hell am I so powerful to know what everyone's stressors are? I'm just running around doing what I think is stressing them out. Right? Or that whole, I don't want to be a burden. Well, because the last time I opened up to friends, all right, it's not always neat and pretty, right? And the last time I let that out to a friend, it didn't go very well. So, in my head, it's like, yeah, Lex, no one can ever understand completely. So why bother explaining? Just like, keep doing your cycles, keep doing your routines, keep holding on to these structures and rules to create a life where no one can feel adverse emotion. That's fucked up of me to assume that I can create a whole world like that for the people that I love. But that's what I want. That's what I want to do. I just want you guys to always be on your best. Which is like, I can't do that. I can't, right? We all go through stuff. However, I don't really get adverse, negative responses from my friends that are a part of my life now. So, I don't have to worry about coming to one of them and one of them being like, you think you had a hard day? Like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So, I'm letting go of that. And my friends don't really respond to me in whatever. Good things are happening. It's just hard for me to shed and trust that we are moving away from these old things, and that if I do take the time to explain, it just feels so freaking trivial, man. And then every time I do explain, it does get better, and everyone's more understanding, and we all, like, move on, and it's great, and it's whatever. I just don't want to talk about it. But, like, apparently I have to. Because, like, that's how I think I break the cycle. If you leave me alone for too long, I do the pattern repetition thing. And, like, I'm growing in other ways. Like, my house will be clean always. My dishes will always be done. All of my meals will be prepped. My workout will be done. Everything clean. Like, that is a sign that I'm noticing for myself that I'm not doing well. Like, what's happening? Like, I'm not balanced. I'm not saying my house should look like a disaster. I'm just saying, like, those are the things that rise, like the cream that rises to the surface when I stay in these cycles and patterns based out of fear. And I'm noticing that, yeah, surface level shit looks fine. And I think that's why people assume I'm doing fine, or I even assume I'm doing fine, because all the accomplishments are accomplished. But at the end of the day, they're accomplished from a place of a seat of fear. Ugh, gross. I didn't know this. I didn't notice. And if you leave me alone for a long time, which I often am, I don't have any mirror to reflect this off of. And then when my boyfriend does get home from work, I don't know if there's not a lot of time. I'm not doing that. We're like just watching a movie, eating dinner, and hanging out. But I'm able to do these kinds of things, these reflections, if I communicate. So even though, yes, he's only home for a couple hours before we go to bed, I can and should take that opportunity. No, he's not my therapist. We're not having an hour-long therapy session. But, like, if I've made a realization of self and linked it to a memory and then came up with a proactive solution, say it out loud. Text it to the girlfriend group chat, right? That's what I'm trying to do more often now. Because I think that's what's happening. If you don't get the reflection, you can't bounce these things off. They just stay rattling around in your mind. They don't actually exist. You're not bringing them into the tangible reality. And they kind of just like dissipate, man. They just float away. And it's weird because like this really all started to happen once my boyfriend got his 9 to 5, and which we're so blessed and grateful for. But at the same, because he was working part-time and it was really hard to find hours. So this is like awesome, right? And it's awesome for me because I love to be alone. But apparently, I have the tendency to slip into toxic cycles when I'm alone. And it's hard to recognize them as toxic because I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm literally not doing anything that I would consider bad. But in this new level, in this new stage of where I am at in my healing journey, I am doing unsafe things. I am harming myself. It's just now in these new, almost like delicate, subtle ways. Like I'm not taking time to just be. I don't even like know what that means right now. Whereas like a year ago, I think I really did. I was getting your grasp on that. And I was feeling a lot happier. It's also why I got a lot chunkier. Like, you get it? Like, and now I'm like, okay, we gotta kick things into gear. We got too slacky. And I go from sloth in a tree to sergeant, drill sergeant, major, sergeant, major, major sergeant. Where's the effing middle ground, bro? And I can't, what the universe is showing me, cannot rely on like a follow buddy. That's what I've been doing, using my boyfriend as, right? Like, oh, is he taking a break? Okay, I'm going to take a break. Oh, wow, he just is okay with putting on the Animal Planet and, like, drinking iced tea right now? Like, you know, the lawn could use some lawning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I would eat when he ate, and I would, like, rest when he rested, and I would, like, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. Didn't realize it. And now he's back at work, and Sergeant Drill Major comes back out. Because he's not Sergeant Drill Major. He's like sloth with a little spice, right? And I can't hang out at his mode that's like way too relaxed for me. Like I don't know. That would, maybe that's the goal, but that's like too much for me because then everything starts to pile up. But I do need to find this middle ground of like, why do I need to turn into a drill sergeant? Like I texted my friend yesterday. I was like, girl, I'm an entrepreneur. I gotta start acting like it. She was like, what does that mean? I'm like, I went to the pool and worked today. She's like, yeah, seems like a remote work thing to do. And I'm like, right, exactly. Why don't I know that? I built this lifestyle so that I could have less rigidness. But I don't know I need to learn how to then be less rigid. But then there's that part of your brain, the parasite, that's like, but then everything's gonna pile up and everything's gonna become overwhelming and everything's gonna look like a mess and your office is gonna be meow, 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 and you're not gonna get clients and no one's gonna wanna come and buy stuff because you live in a trap house. See? And that right there is following the roots. So what is it that I'm really fearful of? Is that I'm tying in just being, relaxing, existing to escapism. Crazy, because I'm pretty sure there's also a middle ground for that too, right? Yeah, like I handled a bunch of shit yesterday at the pool, right? I'm learning. I'm trying to figure this out. Because the strict rules and the weird looming presence that I put on myself is harming me. And I'm like afraid that if I don't have the schedule, if I don't accomplish the thing every day, the same thing every day, that I think what it is like a lack of trust in self too, that we're just going to fall back into these old patterns. We start drinking again, we're going to do drugs, like why not, right? And I think I fear that. I fear the return to a life that I've dug out of with these nailless fingernails, you know what I mean? And I fear falling back into that ever again. Falling behind on bills, falling behind on setting and keeping appointments, all due to depression and anxiety and a slight bit of agoraphobia, you know? Like, I don't want those things anymore because life becomes 1,000 times more complicated when you just let go, like completely. So I have to realize that this new state of surrendering is not escapism. I need to trust that I still have within myself a moral compass of values guiding me that I've set up for the last 5 to 6 years, right? Like these are ingrained at this point. And I need to start trusting that they're ingrained and stop having them all up here every day and having them just be in my heart. Because shit will get done. But I don't trust my mind. I don't trust my mind. And that's not fair to my own mind. Because when it does do the things, and it does do that, meanwhile, as I'm saying it, I'm realizing the only reason it's slooping so far is because I'm not maintaining this balance. So I have to start trusting that I got it. I got it. I'm got it. It's all good. like the amount of post-it notes I'm looking at right now, like I got it. Why is there post-it notes everywhere? Like just relax. If I forget this one thing, am I gonna be okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. But that's what happens when I get in drill sergeant major mode, is like all these post-it notes are life or death. And now insert the synthetic survival mode, which we talked about a couple episodes ago. I'm doing it, but on a personal level that doesn't really affect. And that's the thing, that every year I go through the healing journey, I notice you notice the big thing that's toxic, and then the next year you notice what was underneath that toxicity, and it's like a little smaller. It's not that big. It's not as big of a deal. And then the next year, the other thing, and it's like so for instance, like drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, blah, blah, blah. Super obvious, right? That's toxic. That's super unhealthy. So I got rid of that shit. Then the next year was like, oh, you were afraid of doing A, B, and C, and that's why you're stuck in these cycles. Then I had to get rid of that. I get on it. Then the next year comes, and it's like another layer into that. And it's like, oh, now the new toxic thing is these rigid fear modes, this drill sergeant that comes out when, I don't know when it comes out. I don't know what triggers it, honestly, but it comes out. And then we're like, and like, I need to trust that I can be both of those things. I don't need to be in one or the other, that I can like integrate these things. I have a hard time visualizing that, and that's why it's a hard time for me to manifest it in my reality. So I'm trying to do more like content creation about it, like TikTok stuff, like get the conversation going with a bunch of people, you know, like, and I don't want to hear, I don't want to, let me drink this before I say something rude. Don't tell me to cleanse my energy about it. I'm going to punch the computer. That's not the answer. Does it help get you in a more mindful and present state of peace? Yes. Is it going to teach me how to operate throughout my day that balances masculine energy, balances masculine and feminine energy in a more productive way? No. So, I want real conversations about this. I want to hear stuff like I want to know how to work out every day and not feel like I'm putting myself through a POW war camp because my brain is associating it with that. It's associating it with sacrifice and like punishment, and it's not. But it's not of the workout in general. It's like fitting it in, you know, because like you're supposed to be spontaneous, but you also have shit you need to do, right? That's what baffles me the most about this whole just be. I got shit to do. Like, are you getting rid of my tummy pooch? Are you paying my bills? Are you cleaning the dishes, sweeping the floor, and vacuuming? I'm just like lost as to how we balance these two. Because to me, it seems like we just have a lot of shit to do. You know? That's just my overinflated masculine energy trying to take back over. But, and we're trying like, look at the time less. Flow through the day. It's just weird. How do you also have a routine, bro? Like, trying to tell me, like, and I'm not talking about like your non-negotiable needs, like that's easy. But like when I add to that list, like when I try to add to that, because like that's what I believe is that self-mastery. You got to be able to add to what you are capable of to become more capable of stuff. And that has worked. That has been working for me up until this cancer season. Now I need to dismantle all I know and start again. But with what I've learned. So I know that Sergeant Drill Major is a part of this. It is. Because why have that and see what I'm capable of, know what I'm capable of, just to hit a wall and be like, okay, now we're not really that capable of that anymore. How do we find balance, a middle ground? How do we meet in the middle here? Because I originally thought it was make a list still, because you still got shit to do. But within that list, you schedule just being. That's not it, actually. It's like have a vague general consensus of what needs to get done today. What needs to get done today. And then being able to be spontaneous with the rest. Oh, I'm fighting that right now in my brain so hard because, like, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean? There's something that needs to get done. So why are you leaving it up to spontaneity? Like, I know it has to. Ah! Working on it because this is all a root of trauma, lack of control of the 15 years of my life. Abuse, trauma, whatever, and so you're like, I got it now. I got all the ingredients. Then I have to make a chocolate cake every time. Yeah, but you can use those same ingredients and also make chocolate cookies. You can also make brownies. Just have to change the recipe. And I actually have a problem with doing that. Like my friend's like, yeah, these are chocolate chip cookies and these are chipless cookies. It's the same recipe, just one doesn't have the chocolate chips. So you got two different cookies. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like you do. It's just like, I'm like, it's got to be harder than that. Oh, that's sad to think about. I just want to have fun, man. I want to be able to enjoy making chipless and chipple cookies. Just want to punch her in her little easygoing face sometimes. No, I'm kidding. I love you. Because, like, that doesn't make sense. Like, in my rule book, no. You need different ingredients, different recipes. But, like, it don't gotta be like that. It don't gotta be that hard. It just doesn't. And because surviving has been really hard for me, it's really hard for me to let go that success doesn't come from hardship. And my soul is just like, stop. And I'm like, what? The best things come from the hardest. But like everything? So yesterday I bought three different pouches of different muffin mix and just add milk. And then I'm like, look, I'm making so many different types of muffins in one ingredient. Why is this so hard? And I'm trying to explain this to my friend. I'm like, girl, I just have been surviving for so long. And it's only been a year that, like, I don't need to do that. And I'm just like, let me make it hard. I just want No, bad dog, spread, yeah, down. And I'm like at the smoke shop today, venting this out to all the dudes that run the shop. And I'm like, but it's hard, especially when you're an entrepreneur. And like all those dudes are very proud entrepreneurs. They're really good businessmen, right? So they're just like, oh, you hear that? And I'm like, I know. Yeah, like, like, yeah, go bond with men about it. Like, they're supposed to be. I can't. I'm trying. I'm getting there. It's funny. Whew. And, like, you would think that I am, like, easy. Like, I am just, like, whatever. Because, like, the way I dress, like, freaking elephants on my shirt. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just, like, come on. I'm fun. We talked about this in another episode. I'm fun. But I'm not laid back. I want to learn how to be like that. But then again, don't put your food on my carpet. I got coffee tables for a reason. You know? I'm trying. I feel like such an animal sometimes. Like, I'm like, come in. This is a safe space. I'm such an easygoing person. Put that on a coaster. Get that shit off my rug. Don't put that there. There's a fucking table for a reason. Like, okay. That's honorable. We need rules. We need boundaries. It's my freaking home. I'm a Cancer moon, all right? Don't mess around with my crab shell, okay? Now, new fears are arising. If I push myself, I'm going to push myself into a depression again. But I have shit that needs to be done. I have orders that need to be packed and shipped. I have client follow-ups to type out. I have PDFs to make. Right? But here's the thing. That's the only thing I can't delegate or rely on another person about. I can ask my boyfriend for help with the dishes, bro. I can ask him for help with dinner. I can ask him to help me with the yard. I can ask these things. But once I'm in drill sergeant major mode, I don't know how to ask anybody. Because I just want it all done before he gets home, like, we can cook dinner together, not a big deal. Not a big deal. It's weird. It's like weird. So yeah, that's all I have to do. Like, oh, I have an order to fill. I'm like looking at it. It's got its own post-it note right here. I can't schedule it though. I have to allow it to be time for it. I feel that in my chest, actually. That one I'm not fighting so much. Because, like, I feel like I could actually start this project tonight. Like, I feel like I could. I'm excited about it. And that's what that post was talking about, too, is, like, motivation comes from alignment. Like, you feel naturally motivated to do things when you're in alignment. But when I focus too much on these other chores and responsibilities that I can share, if I abolish the fear I have from asking for help, then my plate will become less full. And then I won't have to make a fucking huge ass scheduled list. I know, I'm laughing because it seems really obvious, but then I get like wrapped up again somewhere. Gosh, trauma's a bitch. Also, I'm not doing this whole, let me just ponder everything in my own brain for the rest of my life. One of the guys that helps out at the smoke shop, he's also an ex-alcoholic, right? So we were talking a little bit, and he was saying something about a fun beverage he likes with like a seltzer, and I was like, I like the white grape over the purple grape, and he was like, oh yeah, I love the white grape seltzer, and like, and then I remembered right as we bonded over that, I was like, oh yeah, he got over that addiction too, and I too have like a weird fanatic-y thing about having special beverages like mocktails, right? And I was like, dude, is that because we're ex-alcoholics? Like, we need fun beverages. I was like, 75% of my grocery bill is like coconut water, strawberry lemonade, non-alcoholic shit, like seltzer, like whatever. Like, that's, and then the rest is like eggs, milk, bread, butter. You know what I mean? Like chicken, carrots, and but I need those. I need that, and that's what it's like. Why do I gotta like hold that in and just ponder that on my own? So I was like, dude, do you think that's why we do that? And he was like, hell yeah. He was like, because when I want alcohol or something like that, it's just because I'm not like feeling well mentally, emotionally. And I was like, yeah, I get that. And he was like, so all I really need is like a little bubbly seltzer and like I'm freaking good. And I'm like, right. It's more like the cold, tasty beverage than it is like the buzz. Like, but I can't just like survive off water. Like, my boyfriend could just drink water and coffee for the rest of his life, and I don't think he'd even notice. Like, he's the kind of person who like make a steak with no sides. And I'm like, what? And like, that's fine. That's totally fine. I, once again, made up rules in my head. If you got a piece of hunk of meat like that, you need at least 2 sides. Starch, vegetable. I'm trying to laid back. Just be. And like, opening up those communication lines, having that connection with people is like, it's very validating, but it's also just like, whew, you like breathe out a little bit. Because I feel like that's what I'm doing is like, I don't, like the people that are immediately close to me, they weren't alcoholics. They haven't gone through that kind of stuff or that deep addiction to like those, like my one friend, she did have a little spout with that, but like the amount of time and the length that I've been in the trauma that I've been in, what I do is like, I don't talk about that with them. Because like in my head, it's like not relevant information because like nobody can relate. So like, let's only talk about things we can relate about because that's just like healthy conversation. And like, I'm not even realizing that like, I'm allowed to do that. I'm not taking up space. Like I'm allowed to just, you know, and what I'm expecting, I think, is because it's not relatable to everybody, that everyone's just going to kind of go quiet and then change the subject. That's my biggest fear. That is like the most invalidating, makes me want to jump out of a window situation. So I try to avoid those things. Enter doing routines and habits based out of fear. So when I think we're all just having a nice whatever, I'm withholding 75% of my random ass thoughts. Because what? I'm waiting to run into another alcoholic to be like, hey, special beverage. Like, I'm sure they could understand if I brought it up and explained it. I'm just not used to people wanting to hear about it. Or give me the time of day to, like, have that thought out loud. I'm used to that thought only being for me. And I feel like every time that happens, I'm like taking in air and not exhaling. And I'm like holding more, and holding more. And I'm not even realizing it because like I just think that, yeah, it just doesn't fit in this conversation. What the hell does that mean? It's a conversation. It's meant to ebb and flow. You don't gotta wait for a relevant topic to be like, oh yeah, so I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, these are your people. And my friends are helping me to understand that and to truly trust and believe that because I've had a lot of past betrayal in my life, and it's not them. I fear losing them more than anything because I love them so much, right? And they're like, we feel the same way. And it's like this breath of fresh air that like now it's opening up these thoughts that like, maybe I can talk about this. Maybe I can bring up this random thought that I'm having based off of the last time I was mugged. Like, and I don't want, and like, what I used to fear is like, the room falls dead, right? Everybody gets kind of quiet and they're like, eh. But my girls have gone through their own sets of trials and errors. They got their own shitty stories of their past, right? Just because they're not the same doesn't mean we're not on the same plateau of healing trauma. We are. And that needs to be what I recognize as a commonality and not keep thinking about, well, I've been doing it for 15 years of trauma before I found them. And that's too much to unpack on them. My girlfriend, you know what she said? She was like, give it to me. Like, what do you mean? Like, we'll do it together. And that's unreal to me. Unreal. So, yeah, I'm authentic as shit. But have I been withholding parts of who I am based off of not wanting to spoil the room or the mood, right? But these are things I think about a lot. Like how I replaced addictions, drug addictions, with like mental weird addictions that I still consider. Like there needs to be a certain amount of coconut water in the fridge. Like, it's exhausting. Because now, the one time they ran out of pink lemonade, no, they ran out twice. And that's weird. It's Tropicana. Get your shit together. But, yeah. So now, new fear unlocked. That I will not have Tropicana strawberry lemonade. So you know what I do now when I go to the store? I buy 3. Oh my God. Just in case, when I go food shopping a week from now, they don't have any. So then I'll at least have 1.5 more to then either stretch it out another week or find another Weiss. Guys, this is strawberry lemonade. This is stressful. Okay? Stressful. And I feel like a doofus when I put 1,000 Tropicana shits in my cart. And I'm just like, because I fear. Because I have fear over lemonade. Because, like, you're not healing the fear. You're just replacing it with other fears, synthetic survival mode. And then you're just like, I personally am not recognizing them. Because to me, it's not meth. So we're doing way better. But this cancer season is like, slap. You're doing the same things. You're creating survival mode in an aspect and an era of my life that's supposed to be just being. I literally set it up perfectly, guys. It's here. I just gotta learn to feel it. Gotta feel the space. I did the dark feminine independence. I did that mode. I did the masculine mode. I did it all. I set up the structure. Look at this office. Like, it's good. Just feel it now. I have to trust that I did it well enough. But then also, letting go of that synthetic survival mode opens the door for remembering all of those traumas that created that fear. And then that's what I've been going through. And, it's great because now I see through the door, I see how many surface level things have actually been rooted to the depths of my past and have been harming my progression. Yeah, and I think it's because it's time. Because God did give me the support system that I've been searching for my whole life. God did give me the roof, the food, the health. Like, I'm healthy. Yeah, I got FUPA action that I need to get rid of, but, like, I'm a healthy person, man. Got arthritis in my shoulder, but I'm working. I go to the pool, I do some underwater. Oh, she ain't crunching today. She be crunch. Oh, that's actually really cool. My shoulder's been crunchy for, like, who knows how long, and the last couple days have been trying to do underwater therapy at the pool, and it's not crunching today. That's awesome. Usually crunches. And I do a lot of the Zumba stuff with my shoulders, too. Wow, just totally sidetracked. Right? I just got so excited over an accomplishment that, like, it just erased everything. And that's what I'm trying to point out. That's the problem. We accomplished, and then we're like, woo! I realized this back 3 or 4 years ago, when I started getting back all the stuff I lost in addiction. Like, I didn't have a license, not because, like, I got it taken away. I just literally lost it. Didn't have a bank account, that because I didn't have money, so I closed that shit. Plus, my ex somehow had my card and kept trying to, okay. So no bank account, no license, no valid ID. I had nothing, man. And obtaining those things back brought me out of a stagnancy, and I was like, ball was rolling again. But then all of a sudden I found myself, like, disassociating for a minute after opening my bank account for the first time, after getting that license, getting my bank account. And I remember being like I felt like a drop in me. Because now what? Right? Now the next thing is getting a car, getting like actual, I had an ID, not license. So I had to get my license back. And then get a car. And, like, those goals, totally obtainable. But they weren't going to be one after another, like, when you first start that process. When you first start that process, you're like, look at me go. Because every week you're doing a new thing and obtaining a new thing, and you're fixing something from your addiction. But then you eventually reach a point where the next goal or the next challenge and the next hurdle is going to take longer. Like, it's going to take a couple months of saving, a couple months of planning or whatever. Like, it takes more work, so you're not instantly satisfied. And it's the instant gratification that I think all of us addicts are looking for, and that's why we turn to drugs in the first place when our mental health goes south. So, like, that quick instant fix. And that's what I'm doing. It's like, okay, so what's the next fix? The next accomplishment? But my soul, my brain, my body, my emotions, well, my brain's doing that thinking, but the rest of me is like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I want that right now. I just want to like exist with what I've got, which is beautiful, and I'm overlooking what's right in front of me, right? Interesting. There is no quick fix. Slowing down is what the answer is. Because trust me, girl knows how to sit and watch movies. No problem. But that's even like been planned lately, and I gotta stop doing that. Because that's what's happening, is I go on this drill sergeant mode, major mode, for like 6 months, right? Or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I need like 4 days in a row of just chain watching comfort movies one after another, and just eating food and napping. And I don't think that's my mental health anymore. I think that it's the burnout. I'm burning myself out. I'm not doing something correct. And that's what that post was like opening my eyes to. Is I'm not balancing it all well, because I shouldn't need like a 4-day crash out. I really shouldn't, because I'm noticing it's not my events. I got that on lock. I figured out what was draining my energy with those, and now I fixed that, and I got the energy preservation, so it's not my events. It's drill sergeant major mode. And because I focused so hard on not making events feel like that anymore, because I blamed the surface, it must be all the events. So I fixed that. The event, like, I got stock. Like I don't have to prep for like 3 weeks before an event anymore. You know, like I just got to do like one thing the week of, and then just like pack all that stuff up. That's about it. And so I recognized it in that avenue. Now I need to recognize it in personal, not just like work. It's funny how that works for me though. Like I figure stuff out in my business life first, and then I realize that I'm like not doing that well in my personal. And that's how I knew like 8 years ago when I first started my business that there was this thought, this idea, that it doesn't matter what happens in my life, that as long as I maintain this business, that it'll work. It's gonna work out. Not just the business aspect of it. That wasn't the feeling in my chest. It was just like the healing will come, the understanding of things will come, the wisdom will come, the application, and like it's just like having a business that's centered around mind, body, and spirit. It's a blessing, because then you can translate that into your personal life. It's weird how my brain compartmentalizes that, but I do that, and I need to, like, right. So as long as I'm recognizing it because it's like, it's external, right? It's my business, it's not me, but everything you do is a relation of who you are. So my business is me, and if I start to change how I run the business in certain ways to alleviate burnout and things of that nature, then I need to apply that same concept and ideas into my personal life. Like meal prep. Like, I don't always have to cook 3 meals a day. That burns me out hard. But I'm not going to go out and buy food either. So, like, there's a middle ground. There's a way around that. Or like snack bags. Like we like to have grab and go snack stuff in the fridge. We usually like make it the day of. Instead, I just sit down, I peel a shit ton of carrots and bag them up with the celery. Just grab and go, right? Like there's loopholes. Right. And yesterday, I did all of that. I know I made the video and showed you guys the list. I didn't do the list, okay? I did go to the pool. I did go food shopping. I did make that tinted lip balm. Like, I got all that done, but I didn't look at the list. Instead, I trusted that my mind knows what needs to be done, and I allowed that to flow into the actions I was already doing. Like, I was peeling potatoes for dinner. Might as well peel the rest of the bag of carrots. Like, that, I think, is the answer, man. Like, and also, don't get stuck. Like, just be, yes, but not just rot. There's like all right, next episode we'll talk about that, because I'm seeing there's that too. Like, just being is you still can get things accomplished, just in a different way. Trusting that you know what needs to get done, and that you can flow through those tasks with easeability. And it's almost easier for me. Well, it's definitely easier when you're not burnt out, but it's almost easier when there's like someone around. I don't know why. It just is. Because of I think the trust, like thinking I can't trust myself. And then if there's like a body in the room, it's like, oh, they're holding it in their brain. No, they're not. Nobody even knows what the hell's going on in your brain. It's weird. Anyway, we'll continue this. There's so much revealing about ourselves right now. I don't know if anyone else is going through that. No, I do know people are going through that, because like a couple of my clients are going through it. My friends are going through it. I'm even noticing my partner going through it, but he's better at distracting himself, which he also admitted, and we're all working on this together. But let's talk about it. And if we post about it, put your astrological signs too, because like I feel like, right? Okay. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.